Good morning. The country's biggest airline has been hit hard by COVID-19. CEO Alan Joyce revealing the full scale of losses this morning for Qantas. Nine's Mark Burrows is at Sydney Domestic Airport for us. Mark, good morning. Just how bad was it?
Well, Davina, the Qantas CEO Alan Joyce said Qantas has been ploughing through the worst conditions in 100 years. Its statutory loss is now down $2.7 billion. Its profit before tax is down to $124 million. That is down 91%. These are terrible conditions, the COVID conditions, Alan Joyce said. Its international flights have virtually stopped and its domestic operations are virtually on life support. 100 aircraft have been mothballed, 20,000 employees have been stood down, 6,000 have been offered redundancy.
With AstraZeneca today. We're here today to announce that we've signed a letter of intent with AstraZeneca which will enable to Australia to access, should it be successful, the vaccine for COVID-19 here in Australia, manufactured here in Australia, distributed free to 25 million Australians in the event that those trials prove successful. There are around 160 different vaccine projects around the world today. Some of those are well advanced, like the AstraZeneca proposal, and that they're teaming up with the University of Oxford. Others are still on their way and looking good too, like in the University of Queensland. There are many others, and Professor Brendan Murphy is heading up an expert panel which is advising the government on the other programs and the other projects that we can take positions on to ensure that Australia is incredibly well placed to ensure that Australians can emerge quickly in the event that a vaccine is developed. This would have to be, as I'm sure Paul Kelly will tell you, who'll speak after me, this would have to be one of the biggest worldwide efforts to find a vaccine that we have ever seen in a concentrated period of time. And that concentrated effort, it fills me with greater hope. And what we've been able to reach today to put Australia in the leading pack when it comes to vaccines being made available to our citizens also gives me hope. In Victoria and Melbourne at the moment, they're doing it the toughest of all. Businesses and people who've been laid off and having their livelihoods disrupted, and those who have lost loved ones, over 430 Australians. Also hoping that others won't fall victim to this terrible virus. And so the search for the vaccine is one thing, but its rapid deployment, should one be found, has also been a key focus of the government and will continue to be. At the same time, we will continue to do everything in every area of activity, working with our state and territory partners to ensure that we are combating this virus each and every day and keeping Australians as safe as we possibly can. To save lives and to save livelihoods has always been our approach. The next step in these arrangements is to see how those trials go, to complete the manufacturing agreements, and they are well advanced, and I feel very positive about those. And then to identify, as I said, other potential vaccine prospects that Australia can partner with. I also want to note that of all the issues I've discussed with Prime Ministers and Presidents around the world, the vaccine has been the most constant of those discussions. Of course, we talk about how we're dealing with the virus in our own country. Our testing, our tracing, our outbreak containment, swapping notes, sharing experiences. But the other discussion that happens in parallel is finding this vaccine and ensure we can mobilise to produce the vaccine. And so while what we're announcing here today is important for Australia, as Australia will also play an important role in supporting our Pacific family. We've had those discussions with Prime Ministers of Papua New Guinea and Fiji most recently. But also when I last spoke to President Widodo, this was also an important topic of discussion. We have a regional role to play here, as well as a domestic role to play here, and we will be living up to all of those responsibilities as we progress this day. But today is a day of hope, and Australia needs hope, the world needs hope when it comes to this coronavirus. And should we be in a position for the trials to be successful, we would hope that this would be made available early next year. If it can be done sooner than that, great. But we are very much in the hands of people wearing white coats, and there's plenty around here today, and they've been doing tremendous work, not just here, but all around the world.
The COVID marshal role is an important way of ensuring that we can continue to enjoy the activities that we're currently enjoying. The COVID marshal is there to support everyone observe COVID safe practices. There's a range of businesses and activities that require a COVID marshal. This includes hospitality, gyms and indoor fitness centres, sports clubs, public swimming pools, social and community clubs, religious and faith-based ceremonies, supermarkets and hardware stores, distribution centres, and businesses and activities that require a COVID management plan. The COVID marshal will be responsible for monitoring things like ensuring physical distancing, ensuring density requirements are followed, such as room capacity requirements, promoting hand hygiene and cleaning, and maintaining attendance records. That might be through having a high-vis vest identifying someone as a COVID marshal. It could be something like a lanyard identifying the COVID marshal, or any other readily identifiable thing such as a beanie. A COVID marshal can be a regular staff member or a volunteer. Essentially, the important thing is that that person is over 18 years old and has completed the COVID training. So if the activity or business is anticipating more than 200 people present at any one time, they require a dedicated marshal. If they are anticipating less than that number, that COVID marshal can have other duties. There's free online training available for COVID marshal. If successful, that person will receive a certificate which they will need to download and either print or keep on a device so they can demonstrate to SA Police that they have completed the online training successfully. The ultimate responsibility for compliance rests with the business owner or the person operating the activity. If someone doesn't comply, it is important for that COVID marshal to raise that with the business owner, and if the people still fail to comply, they can contact SA Police. COVID marshals should be treated with respect. They are undertaking activity to keep us all safe, and it's all our responsibility to observe those COVID safe practices. We've seen a fantastic response to people taking on the COVID marshal role, and it continues South Australia's excellent work in managing COVID-19 and protecting the community.
Alright, so why are you detaining me? Well, under arrest or free to go?
No, I believe that you're here in contravention of the Chief Health Officer's direction.
Alright, what evidence do you have to support that belief?
Come over here. Just get off the road.
No, you're the one that's got me stopped on the road and now intimidating me to further a political and other ideology. Well, am I under arrest or am I free to go?
Please state your name and address now, thank you.
My name's Rowan Michael Brown and I live at 185 Howard Street in North Melbourne, which is less than 5 k's from here. Now, maybe you want to call Stephen Cooper from the Fixated Threat Assessment Centre, alright? And then he's the inspector,
You have your camera going.
and he'll tell you to leave me alone. Now, I'm on my way, alright? So please get out of my way.
Produce the evidence of who you are, thanks.
I don't have the ID on me, but call Stephen Cooper from the Victorian Fixated Threat Assessment Centre. Do you have a biosecurity order?
Who, sorry? Stephen Cooper, right?
Stephen Cooper.
And who's he, sir?
He's the inspector of the Loopionological Victorian Fixated Threat Assessment Centre. Now, I'd like to go, so please.
You've got nothing on
No,
What was your name?
Rowan Michael Brown, but they know where I live now. Leave me alone. If you hinder me.
Just stay there, mate.
All right. I need your full name.
Yeah, Henry Van Andel.
Okay. State your number, your employee number.
Yeah, I work down at the Victoria.
No, your
Police Centre,
employee
mate.
number. You're meant to give me your employee number.
21441.
Okay.
Let's get some ID.
Well, I told you. Call Stephen Cooper from the Victorian Fixated Threat Assessment Centre.
No, Mr. Australian.
Did you ask for these cameramen's IDs or just mine?
No, they're not running around on the road now.
Well, is it against the law to ride a skateboard on the road?
Well, why have you left home?
To travel. To go get out and get some exercise.
Exercise? So is this exercise?
I'm travelling. I don't answer questions. Leave me alone.
Hang on. How is this exercise?
Why do you wear an inverted pentagram? Why are you intimidating me to further a political ideology? I want to go.
It's not my goal to intimidate you, mate.
Well, you are intimidating me. You're surrounding me with a bunch of guns. Look at these terrorists. Look. Don't touch me. You're trespassing my person now. What's your name? BP39348. You just trespassed my person.
We're just going to step off the road.
Let's see if we've got any of these blacked out Australian flags. I was just passing through and they stopped me. You terrorists.
Now,
Where's
sorry.
the biosecurity control order? And please don't touch my property.
Sorry, you were telling me
Now
why
you're
you were leaving.
trespassing my person. No, I'm just...
You were telling me why you were leaving, because there's 4 reasons why you can leave the home.
Huh?
You said you were
I just want to go and get some food, right? And this is how I travel. Because the gang of terrorists called Victoria Police, all right, and the Deputy Chief Magistrate Holzer took my licence on the 14th of December on a wrongful decision. Okay, now call Stephen Cooper. I'm not answering any more questions. Nah, Stephen Cooper, no more questions. Nah, not answering questions. Not answering questions.
Now you're saying you're getting free. Who did it?
Well, that's what I'm doing.
Well, unfortunately, based on what you're telling me, man, I believe in reasonable grounds you are out and about.
Well, I believe on reasonable grounds that you're a terrorist and I'm placing you under arrest for an act of terrorism against the subject of the Commonwealth of Australia.
Unless you prove your ID to me.
I just told you, call Stephen Cooper from the Victorian Fixated Threat Assessment Centre, the inspector. He'll tell you I live in North Melbourne. You don't need this gang of terrorists to surround me, okay?
No ID on you, is that what you're telling me?
No, you don't need to have ID when you go out, okay?
Prove who you are.
It is not an offence to be less than 18. Don't touch me!
You're under arrest,
Come on.
okay?
It's fine. You need to
For
prove your
what?
identity.
Okay.
You need to prove your identity. Okay, come on.
Chief Health Officer's directions. I told you who I am. I told you who I am, champ. You're using my name, champ.
You need to.
Now you're assaulting me, you terrorist, cowardly terrorist scum. Yeah, fuck you, you pissant.
Rowan, listen. The minute we confirm who you are,
Well, you don't need to fucking hurt me.
I'm not trying to hurt you, bro.
Okay, I'm not resisting. Stop trying to break my arm, etc.
Relax.
The gang, leave my skateboard alone. Don't touch my property, you pissant. Lewin.
Hey, Rowan, I had a big to do with you at Heidelberg some time ago.
Yeah, where I was falsely imprisoned.
Right, and we spoke this and through there. Let's do this.
Are you the good guy that came in after I got me off the floor? Did I put in a compliment about you?
Let's go in here now.
No, go straight.
Are you the guy I put the compliment in about? So, Chris, you know I'm a good bloke. You know who I am, Chris. Chris can verify my identity. Rowan Michael Brown. Victim of the gang of terrorists called Victoria Police. Daniel Andrews is a criminal. Martin Bakula is a criminal. I've told you who I am. Chris Atkin knows who I am. I was just travelling past. Typical of you terrorists.
Are we taking the cups off or on?
You don't need cuffs. No, don't touch my stuff. I've got autism. I need an independent witness. Don't destroy my property. Like, you're breaking the gimbal, you idiot. I've got autism. It's on the record. You need to give me an independent witness.
Get that cup on.
You don't need a cuff on, you terrorists. You've all got guns, you cowardly terrorist pieces of shit. Of course not. I'm not the terrorist. You're the one with the weapons on you. I've got a speaker in my pocket. Nothing. I'm not a terrorist.
They're starting on kids again. Fathers with kids.
I want the
Yeah, I am back. For his own protection, I'm taking a video. For his own, I don't know the gentleman, but for his own protection, he's got kids there. So I think for his own protection, I need to take a video as a citizen. That's ridiculous.
Everyone else, please move on. Go, Judith.
I'm for his own protection, I'm taking a video, mate.
I'm videoing, so it's fine.
Well, you're not video facing me. You're not video.
Everyone else is videoing as well.
Yep, that's
Thank
okay.
you. You've already said you want to move on.
Yeah, I am going to move on.
Now.
Look at this. Look at this. Με παιδί. Παίρνει το παιδί.
Oh my God! Fuck off! Dickheads! Oh my God! Oh my God! Fuck off! You big dickhead! We've got ADK now. We're going to keep on.
Look at these kids. Oh, look at these kids.
Yeah, and they want to keep them safe, so they're trying to keep them
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
They are attacking
Ridiculous. Look at that.
That is disgusting. That is disgusting. Look at that parent on the floor and his kids are that is absolute foul. I'm shaking. That is. Honey, please calm down. Honey, please.
That's the wife.
Just go and look after your kids. Go look after your kids. There's not much you can do here.